or whatever it takes, by any means necessary.
So,
Failure is
in the
not an
job
option.
at
Kind of grind.
Channel 9. And what did the world of broadcasting look like for Black people then?
And my first job actually was at WRC, the NBC affiliate,
Mhm.
uh, before I got into WSA, the CBS affiliate. Um, but at that point, it was it was dismal. Um, this was, before the Kerner report came out in 1968, um, basically saying, "Hey, the images that you're projecting, the programs that you're bringing up, none of this is representative of minority communities or Black communities, and you need to do a lot better." Because this is the kinds of things that can provoke riots, that can provoke, kinds of the negative aspects of what happens. And so they were beginning to suggest that television stations and radio stations hire more representation of the communities that they serve, and and do more programming as it relates to those communities. The first one, the first person that got hired, and that was Julie, was working for a radio station, WOL. That was really my first foray into broadcasting, was work in radio, working with him at WOL and producing some shows. And actually, he actually gave me my own show that I did. A call in radio Sunday show. but Because they recognized that he was a good producer, they gave him it was a health education and welfare at that time. That's the way it was called. HEW led a contract for a program, a summer series, to be produced at the public broadcast station. The public broadcast station, and but in order for them to do it, they had to have somebody, a minority, produce it. And so they asked Dewey to produce it, and Dewey didn't know anything about producing that television at that point. And he asked me if I would help him. I didn't know anything either, so I'm like, yeah, I'll help. Again, here is stepping into the unknown. Don't be afraid. You can't be afraid to say, yeah, okay, I can do that. Have some belief that, whatever it is, you'll at least try it, attempt it, try to do it. And so we sat in the dining room in my house, my apartment, for many of days, planning and writing and looking at what we could do, how we could produce this 9-week summer series. Dewey had all of the creative aspects of it. He knew how to shoot, to have it filmed, and how to make transitions and all that kind of stuff. What I knew the people. I knew the subjects. I knew, thanks to Petey, I knew what some of the real issues were in the community. I knew who a lot of the people who were trying to do something to involve. So the two of us together, with me providing the meat, but him putting all of the whistles and bells and knowledge, how to bring it all out of people and how to string it together, how to use the music. He knew all of that, and he still does. He knows all of that. So the summer series was very successful. As a matter of fact, it collected Dewey's first Emmy for that show, for what it did, and how it highlighted, some of the problems and some of the solutions of the Black community. And then from that point on, from there, he then took that knowledge and went to WRC and asked them to give him a show to produce. And then he asked me to help him do that. But at that time, the landscape was very, very slim for Black people. I mean, very, very slim. You saw very few Black producers, hardly anyone in the newsrooms. So content creation was left in the hands of people who didn't really, I can't say they didn't feel, because some of them certainly did feel, but didn't really know and hadn't experienced what the real life was. And then how to then shine on some of the positives of what was going on in the in the Black community. But we did. And when you got more people like you, I mean, we suffered a lot. I mean, we had camera crews, and we'd be sitting in the back of the crew car, and they would be saying horrible things about things surely have changed since they came. I mean, you knew that there was a resentment but then there were some people like Willard Scott, who would spend time sitting down with us and talking to us about how to get things done.
And I want you to talk about your journey at WUSA.
Okay.
And did you have an agenda for the community in front or behind the scenes?
My agenda has always been to provide for the expression of positivity and fairness as it relates particularly to the inner city and Black communities, that there be a fair and positive projection of who we are as a people, what we do as a people, and how we do it as a people. I'm not suggesting that there's not some negativity, because there certainly is, and certainly, that is something that that can be addressed. But just one little example of what was a part of my agenda was how you portray Black people. It's okay, there's snow day, and the kids are out of school. The tradition at TV stations before was that they would go to any white community and show white kids sliding and having fun, and rarely did you say, I'm like, no news. No, you gotta go into the Black kids are having fun too. They're out with their sleds, they're out, and when you just see white kids having fun and Black kids killing people, what is that? What are those images telling you? Also, you're going to show me these young Black men who are singing in choirs and choruses and being positive, and you're going to highlight them. You're not going to just show me, and I like athletes, that's fine. You're not going to just show me athletes, you're going to show me the average Black kid Black young man that's doing positive things in their community. And so my agenda has always been to infuse in the images that are projected on the screens and broadcasting, the positive images as well as anything else, but you have to, and that's going to be reflected in programs. Who heads the program? Who's the talent on the program? Who's behind the scenes? Who's filming them? Who's writing the scripts? You've got to have people who are going to be sensitive to the inclusiveness or the need for diversity in everything that they do. So my agenda at Channel 9 from the beginning was to do that. And I was fortunate because the woman that hired me, brought me over to Channel 9 first, was a news director that I had worked with at Channel 9. And she saw how I could help deliver features and pieces that spotlighted and highlighted of diverse communities on television. And so she was helpful in getting me there. And then I had the good fortune of working with some managers that happened to have been, Blacks, Ron Townsend and Ed Jones. And so it helped me actually fulfill many of the items of my agenda. I didn't get to do all of them, but I was able to um, to achieve quite a few. I was very happy with being able to bring in some incredibly young, talented women and men, photographers and editors, um, and, and 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 blacks, as well as being able to see other members that could be sensitive or be made sensitive to what was necessary in order to be fair in the presentation of what it is that we bring to the community.
Yeah, I love that. And I love the fact that you said even though you weren't able to finish all your agendas, the beauty is we have this next generation. So when
Right.
they see this, they will be able to pick up and the charge on the things that maybe you weren't able to do and the new things that are coming up. So
Yeah.
they're going to watch this interview and feel inspired, uplifted, and
I'm
ready for
hoping,
charge.
I'm
Yes.
hoping, Megan, that I can, if anything, that would be I would feel really good about that. If I should inspire just one person,
Yes.
I would be grateful. I was just at a retirement party of one of the young women that I had the fortunate enough to bring her into Channel 9. And here's the good news. The news director happened to be talking with, I was introduced to the news director was a young Black woman. And I was like, whoa, this is great. It was really good to see. I want to see, that's the kind of thing that you really want to see. You want to see that the legacy is happening. People are kind of, what is distressing though, is sometimes I look at when they take wide shots of behind the scenes of the camera crews, and I just I don't always see the diversity that it used to be.
Mhm.
It's, and I may be wrong, and you guys can help me see this better, but sometimes I get really distressed when I say I just saw a piece where they were celebrating. I think it was on NBC. I'm not really sure. Some guy who had been there for like 70 some years, 30 some years, or whatever. But all of the staff that he had worked with, he was a behind the scene person that he worked with, came to salute him. And I know that there must have been at least 30 some, 40 some people, and it may be two or three. And that to me, it's like, where? What are we falling behind with the progress? What's going on? But then I'm encouraged when I see this young woman who is the news director at a number one station, or they're not the number one anymore, but a big station in a major market like Washington, D.C. That's encouraging. But anyway.
What you know now, what would you say to the Black community to empower young people and their parents to advocate for themselves and for each other?
Whoa, that's a powerful one, Megan.
No.
What I know now is, first off, I think that parents really need to know and understand that it is important for them to recognize what is the power of youth, what they can do, and encourage that in them. They have to. Some parents wouldn't go to bat for their own kids when they know that what was going on in the school systems was detrimental to them, and not really affording them the true opportunity to experience a great education. They don't encourage them to avail themselves on opportunities that they don't look for. opportunities for their young people to get involved in. Young people don't either, incidentally. It goes both ways. I think that they need to take a lot more responsibility to advocate for themselves, even when their parents are not, because some parents are not capable of, or they don't know how to advocate. Young people need to develop skills to advocate for themselves, to know and to look for resources that can help them in terms of their own growth and development, because there are plenty, not plenty, and they're getting scarcer and scarcer in this administration, I fear. But there are opportunities that young people can take to gain positions where they can exert influence, positive influence, and in this world, and in what we live. You can't continue to take a backseat, and parents cannot allow their young people to just grab at one resource without really examining what that, it frustrates me when I hear young people say, but they said this on YouTube, or they said this on,
TikTok.
I heard this on TikTok. I saw this on, and then what did you do with it? Once you saw it on TikTok, then what? How did you verify it? How did you really know that this actually happened, that this is really going on? And what are you seeing with your own eyes? Look, see around you, some of this stuff is not real. It's not happening.
What would you say to a young lady who aspires to get into the field and become a trailblazer like yourself in broadcasting, the next generation?
First off, I'd say do it, first.
Yeah.
So I would say hone your skills. You can't just say, I'm going to do something without preparing yourself. You need to prepare yourself to, if this is the industry, if TV, communication, broadcasting, whatever it is, in the greater world of broadcasting, because now we're in a greater world of broadcasting, whatever it is, you got to prepare yourself. You got to know what it is that you need to do, and then pursue those things. You've got to, you've got to start networking and looking at what needs to be done and who's doing those things, and then connect with those people that are doing it. Then once you get in, when you get in, then you got to really kind of be prepared for setbacks, because there are going to be some setbacks. But you can't let a setback throw you back. You have to grow from the setbacks. What I experienced, because I had setbacks in my career, but what you do with those and how you bounce back from that. You can't just let one setback throw you, like I said, throw you back. You've got to analyze it, figure out what it was that you didn't do, and how it is you're going to pursue, or not get caught up in that same kind of a situation the next time around. You can't also let setbacks cause you to be bitter. Because if you become bitter, you're going to defeat your purpose. If your purpose is really to be able to influence the next generation, or make positive changes, you can't do it if you're bitter and you're doing it out of bitterness. You've got to do it out of the understanding that this is something that you need to do, and that it can be done, and that you'll be the one that's going to do it. And then you can't look down on anybody. You cannot look down on anybody. Everybody around you is a person and can provide you with something, some strength that's going to help you fulfill what is your ambition and what is your desire. And you just have to. There's some people will say be kind. You have to. You have to be kind. Strong. You definitely have to be strong. You cannot be intimidated or timid in this business. It's not going to help you along the way. So you have to be strong, but you also the two can go together. Be strong and be kind at the same time.
Yeah, I like that.
Firm but fair.
Yeah, I was
Always
like,
my motto. Firm but fair.
these are nuggets for at any age. I feel like
Right.
I'm
Exactly.
taking jewels, I think, for anyone can kind of grab from that and utilize it and put it into your own life. Yeah, thank you. Yes, I think we got to keep doing this. We all have to keep pushing, leaving our mark and being authentic and doing the work. So thank you for this. Thank you for the wealth of knowledge that you have and inspiring us, inspiring myself, and then the future generation. So this has been amazing.
Oh, good. I hope so. And if you need me for anything, let me know.